So you're thinking about water fasting and you're wondering what it's like, why should I do it, and what are some of the best practices? I'm here to provide you with my best practices for a water fast, some answers to some frequently asked questions, and some links to resources so you can go a deeper dive in this. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm in day 2 of a 72-hour water fast. So I'm more than halfway through. I started on a Sunday night, and I'm going to be going through a Wednesday night. And I'll first just start with how I feel right now. I've switched from burning glucose into ketosis. Now, if you're of the measurement source, you can get a ketone meter. There's pee strips out there. There's also blood finger pricks out there, and I'll link to those in the description below. I just use my feelings since I've done this a few times before. So how am I feeling right now? I'm feeling sharp. When you go into ketosis, you're past the transition from glucose burning to fat burning, and once you're past that transition, you tend to feel pretty energized and pretty sharp. And the idea is that our ancestors needed certain hormones and certain neurotransmitters to shift when you're in survival mode. One of those being norepinephrine, as described as a key one there for alertness. Now, the downside of some of these shifts in hormones is that it makes sleep difficult. So my first night's sleep was fine because I'd eaten that evening. Second night's sleep last night was I was up a lot. It was easy for me to go back to bed, but I was definitely up a lot, and I slept less than I normally do. And I also wasn't taking my normal sleep supplements that I do. So what am I eating and drinking on this water fast? So my goal is to really maximize autophagy. Sometimes you can go for fat burning, and I will burn some fat on this. You definitely lose mostly water weight. So afterwards, a lot of the weight that you lose comes back because most of it's water weight. I would estimate 2/3 to 75%. But there's also some estimates that in terms of weight that you lose is, a third of a pound to 2/3 of a pound a day, depending on who you are and how much activity that you have of fat. So right now, I've got my water bottle with me, and I use Element electrolytes. And the idea is that those won't mess with autophagy. So autophagy is the cleaning of cells when your cells start to eat themselves and they're eating the bad precancerous cells, cancerous cells, all of the junk that's in your body. And generally, on day 2 to 3 is when autophagy is maximized. So the question is, am I hungry and what does it feel like? So I'm not particularly hungry. The first day is the worst in terms of hunger. Now, most of hunger you feel as something in your tummy, and that's produced by a hormone called ghrelin. Now, ghrelin is related to your insulin levels. So as you continue to fast, your insulin levels lower and they stabilize, and that means your ghrelin also gets lower too. It is also circadian and adapts to when you eat. So you can often anticipate feeling hungry normally through your normal eating times if you have normal eating habits. So I feel hungry during breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but those levels of hunger have gone down. Now that'll often spike again when you smell food or talk about it. So it's good to keep busy if you can. The thing that I'm looking forward to least is tonight's night of sleep. That for me is the most challenging part of fasting because it can be a little bit uncomfortable to be tossing and turning so much and not having that perceived restful sleep that you normally have. But part of that is your body is pumping you full of stimulants, so you don't feel tired the next day. You feel quite awake. And So it's not much of a problem there. Uh, on the other hand, I have noticed some brain fog. It doesn't feel like brain fog, but it's like you say something, but you meant something else. So that happens on occasion. You got to be aware of that. Um, Obviously, full disclaimer, I should have put up front, talk to your doctor before starting a fasting regimen. And so, to that end, what I also recommend is starting with smaller fasts to build your way up. I've done this a few times now. Sometimes I cut it short to 60 hours because I don't feel great. I'm not trying to be a hero here. Could do that with this one. We'll see. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good. But start with 24 hours, then 36, then 48, then 72, and understand how your body adapts. The electrolytes are key with the water. I do black coffee with it as well. I do 1 cup in the morning, 1 cup around lunchtime, and that serves me pretty well. I probably don't need that second cup of coffee from an awakeness perspective like I normally would after lunch when I get a little bit tired from digesting. However, I don't want to get a headache from caffeine withdrawal. So that's why I keep it up there. Um, I like to work out while fasted. I stay away from HIIT because that can be a little bit too intense, the high intensity interval training. Yesterday I did a leg day. Today I did an upper body day. Um, and tomorrow I'll probably take it easy, do some yoga and do some walking because I still want to fat burn, take advantage of the ketosis. So a good walk, maybe even a jog, but it might be a rest day. We'll see how I feel. But I do like to exert myself so I sleep better. And you may not feel up to it. In earlier fasts, I've maybe just done yoga, just done some walking, so you can kind of test out what works for you. But in your first few multi-day fasts, I take it easy before you realize how your body reacts to it. So the refeed, what I'm looking forward to, there's a lot of recommendations out there to bone broth as a good way to kind of establish food in your system. So you definitely want to refeed carefully, and there's a lot of good videos out there about refeeding. I like to start with fruit, something simple, something easily digestible, and then maybe like an easy small amount of protein, whether it's eggs or fish, something like that. Nothing too heavy, nothing processed, as a good way to kind of reintroduce food and get your stomach back working again, and then you can kind of like continue on after in your next few meals. But your first couple should be pretty clean, pretty basic, unprocessed foods. So that's a little bit of my take on water fasting, right in the middle of it, how I'm feeling, some of my best practices, what I like to do around it. One other thing I didn't mention was magnesium. I take a magnesium supplement at night just to kind of get some extra of that element in my body. Magnesium also is good for sleep and rest. And that's about it. I stopped taking my daily creatine, stop with any other supplements because I don't want to mess with the autophagy, because any spike of your insulin could lead to interference with the autophagy, and that's what I'm working to maximize this time. If I wasn't looking to do that, I may put a little bit of soy milk in my coffee that doesn't have like any sugar content, or I may, you could do something like bone broth to give yourself some sustenance, but not get your insulin spiked. But anyways, that I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and if you're in fasting, good luck, and hope you enjoy the benefits of being metabolically flexible and helping you clear out some of the bad gunk that's in there.